Have you ever wondered how the Krasue would play as themselves in Dead by Daylight? Look no further. I found out how. Hello everybody, Vigo Shadow here, and welcome to Killer Murder Methods. This is a guide how to play exactly like how the killer would act in the entity's realm. In this video, we'll be playing as the Krasue, otherwise known as her real name, Burong Sukapat. I'll be going over their power, their perks, the type of killer they are, and lastly, what they prioritize in order to play just like they would. First, let's take a look at her power, Unembodied Flesh. This special ability she has is Corporal Weave. So the Krasue can shift between body and head forms at will. The body form has a 32-meter tear radius, the head form has a 40-meter tear radius. It is slightly faster, but cannot break pallets, and is not granted Bloodlust. The special effect it has is Leeched, hitting a survivor with the intestinal whip, or a leeching gland adds to their leech meter. When the meter is filled, the survivor is afflicted with Leech 1. Leech 1, the leech meter fills automatically, and at Leech 2, the survivor is afflicted with Broken. If healthy, they become injured. The next special ability is the intestinal whip. In the head form, press the attack button to lash out with your internal organs. Survivors afflicted with Leech can be damaged by the intestinal whip. Intestinal whip partially fills a survivor's Leech meter up to Leech 1. The special ability she has next is Regurgitate. In body form, press and hold the power button to charge Regurgitate. When charged, tap the attack button to spew a leeching gland. A leeching gland completely fills a survivor's leech meter up to Leech 1. There's also a special item that shows up on the map. Survivors can eat glowing fungus to decrease the leech meter over time. Being hit ends the effect, so it takes a little bit of time in order for them to recover from the leeched special effect. The other special ability is Headlong Flight. In the head form, press and hold the power button to speed through the air. All right, and that pretty much does it with her power. All right, next we're gonna go over the Krasue's 3 perks. So let's go ahead and start with Ravenous. The scent of blood is in the air, time to feast. Whenever you hook a survivor for the first time, gain 1 token up to a maximum of 4. When you have 4 tokens, all survivors scream and are afflicted with Exposed for 60 seconds. Exposed survivors are down by basic attacks, even if uninjured. And then you got a little bit of flavor text at the bottom. Weeping Jinvira's bloodstreams, the devil smells the weak. Fabro Baron's Jinvira. I might have butchered that, but moving on. Wandering Eye, bloody prey surrounds you, vying for your attention. Whenever you start chasing a survivor, reveal the auras of all other injured survivor within 20 meters for 5 seconds. This perk has a 30-second cooldown. A drop of blood does not satiate when a river is needed. Elliot Campbell's Grandeur of Samuel. Then the last perk she has is Hex Overture of Doom, a hex that plays on the paranoia of others. Spawns a hex totem that curses the farthest generator and reveals its aura in yellow. When a survivor repairs the curse generator for 5 seconds, you gain Undetectable and your tear radius is applied to the generator for 30 seconds. When the curse generator is repaired, the next farthest generator is cursed. Undetectable hides the killer's aura, tear radius, and red stain. From Salvation's Ruin, be warned, death comes from all around. Giovanni Serrata's Fog Hill. And that pretty much concludes her 3 base kit perks. All right, because of the killer's power, we now know what type of killer they are. And I pulled up an image referencing the different types of killers. And I think she best fits the Disabler category. Now, Disabler types of killers are killers whose powers help them get around loops and pressure survivors. She does have a ranged ability, which is Regurgitate, but it is not going to damage survivors on its own, so I would not go as far as to call her a ranged killer. She also has a movement ability called Headlong Flight, which kind of puts her in a hybrid category between mobility and Disabler, but her main gimmick is using her head and body form with relying on them being leeched. So I would say she is a Disabler killer. Next, we will delve into what the killer's priorities are. In Dead by Daylight, there are 4 categories. Within these categories, we can see what the killers deem a priority based on their personality within the bio, perks, and various other dialogue/quotes. I've already combed through a bunch of the lore and other places and found out that this killer's priority mainly focuses on the sacrifice/devout category. So killing survivors, sacrifices, and Mori. This is because of how many times it is mentioned that she has an insatiable bloodlust. And then specifically in this bio here, it says, a seething hunger took over Burong's disembodied head, lifted into the air, swooped him alive, ravenously mauling the woman until nothing remained but blood, hair, and bone. So just because of that dialogue alone and some other things in her add-ons that support her priority being the sacrifice category, that is what I deem this killer's priority to be. Before we play, let's make sure we have some things in order so that we can play just like the Krasue would. First off, we're going to play only using their base kit perks with absolutely no add-ons so that I don't get an advantage. Second, we're going to focus on the priority. The priority is the sacrifice/devout category, which means death over everything else approach. I'm going to be targeting those who have the most hooks preferably. And then third, I'm going to try to utilize all of the base kit perks that the Krasue has so that I can get the full use out of all 3 of them. All right, we're in the match. Shattered Square, Decimated Borgo with our match with the Krasue. So let's go ahead and locate this one. So that's going to be the farthest gen from the survivors. We are going to go this direction then to try to spot them. Okay, we already have the Overture of Doom activated, nice, which is great. We're going to try to use that for value, try to scare some survivors and get them injured quickly. We don't hear anybody up here. There's one person going to the basement. Good, good, that's exactly what we want. Okay, we got him injured too. You gonna play it safe? Okay, there we go. Somebody with a flashlight right off the bat. They do not get that. We got one hook to activate our Ravenous. We need all of them hooked. Okay, they do finish that incantation in the basement. That's probably their goal. Okay. We do find Sable down here. She was able to get the incantation, but she's broken the rest of the trial. This is exactly kind of what we want. All of our gens are now more... They're going to be able to do them a little bit easier. They reduced they shaved off a lot of the time on the gens. We're going to go for James because he just got healed. And he is the closest one to getting injured, so we're going to just go for him. Okay, we're just going to volt that. Okay, she's going to protect him, but that's okay. Okay, they are going for trying to save him. We don't want that. We'll go ahead and redo that. We're mainly after James Sutherland, so we're going to get there. They're both injured. This is exactly what I want. Okay, there we go. We take what we need. They actually get the flashlight off here. I'm actually surprised. But they are going to be very altruistic for their friends. Okay. Alright. Now we're going to go ahead and pressure Maria out of here. I'm going to act for the pickup, and then... Yeah, she's definitely sticking around. We don't want her to. They're doing gens in the meantime, which is good use of their time. She doesn't get the flashlight save because she thought I'd commit. We got 2 on Sutherland now. We can probably commit to the Maria now that we have hooked James. We got a little bit of the... There we go. She didn't even see it coming. We get her down. That's great. That's exactly what we want. Now, Lisa Garland is the only one that can actually get damaged here. Sorry, that's the last one we need. Let's go ahead and stop this gen since this is very close. Okay. We get her injured through that means. We get her downed. That's great. We want that. Luckily, no stuns. Okay. Now let's see if we can find James. Preferably not Maria, but she's injured, so we can try to go for it. Okay. Overture of Doom is cleansed. It did its job pretty well. That's exactly what we needed. James is up right there. We can get him. Surprised it didn't actually hit him. We're going to go for him next, though, for sure. We get Maria, actually, from that rebound. We can hit her, too. We might as well just injure them as much as we can go. They're going to just use their flashlights and just try to save him as much as possible. We can down Maria here. But then we're going to go for James. Okay. We get him here, I believe. Wow. Not a pallet save, but they tried to go for the flash. They even left Lisa Garland on the ground. I'm convinced that I don't want to hook her right away. Okay. They're going to go. They pick her up. They have Dead Heart, of course. Why don't they? Sable's right here. This is what we want. Shit. We missed our chance. But we actually get it right here. We might still be able to not get a flashlight save on. Luckily, that hit us. We still get the hook, though. Just barely. Just barely we get that hook. Now that we have 2 killed, it's going to be much easier to manage. They're going to try to go for the distraction. I will go for the next gen. We're going to mainly check our gens now. We're going to be very safe on how we plot this. Okay, we actually missed that. But that's okay. We missed that one too. Dang. Okay, we're just gonna go for a quick hit here. Maria probably doesn't know this, but I do have that, and she's right near here too. She does not know that I have this ability. Yep, and I got her with the exposed target. Absolutely excellent. This is exactly what we wanted here. She's going to probably go for that. Now we can go for the kill. And just like that, we have a 4K Krasue match. Using her priorities, mainly targeting people that are close to death and then going for others, while also getting a very good use out of all of her perks. And that is going to conclude the video. Thanks for watching. Vigo signing off.